How y'all are this afternoon? This is your buddy George Jones over here at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on Hey, I got this old used gun. The old used gun I got today is a relatively new gun, the Beretta Nano. The Nano came out in 2011. It's made in America by Beretta. It is a striker-fired, delayed blowback, double action style semi-automatic pistol, 9mm caliber. There's very nice 3-dot sights on it. It isn't encumbered by any slide stops or external safeties and so forth like that. It does have an onboard locking mechanism for home safety. That's pretty nice. Trigger actuated safety like you find on the Glock. And magazine release is the only external control actually on it. It's a little 1 3/4 inch barrel, 9mm parabellum gun. The shooting in the background you hear is, today is September the 1st. It's opening day of dove season here in Kentucky. So everybody and his brother-in-law is out burning them Walmart shotgun shells. Anyway, we're going to shoot this little guy here. I've got a target set up down there at 30 feet. And we're going to run about 2 magazines through it and see how it actually operates for us. See how it actually works. Has a nice finger rest extension on the magazine. This is a nice flat carryable gun. Let's see how it runs here. We charge her up. I've got one in battery. Give me some air mufflers on. We'll give it a try-fi. Let's see. Run that guy right down there, center of mass, line them 3 dots up, pull that old trigger and squeeze back there. And that's an X. Trigger's a bit creepy, I'll just tell you the truth. It's got about a, I'd say a 10-pound trigger on it, with a fairly long reset. Yeah. All right. Let's reloadify that gun right quick if we can find some 9mm ammunition to reloadify it with. There we go. There's some, what's it called?
DMT.
What?
DMT.
DMT ammunition. Remanufactured ammunition from down in Nashville. One. Twosies, threesies, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's go. Locks back nice. Run that guy back in there, goes back into battery nice. Let's see if we can't get 6 more X's. Okay. Okay. Now I read it has some issues with 115 grain ammunition. So this is 115 grain. And that was way off too. All right. Ammunition issues notwithstanding, let's go over and try to get up there. I sit in that chair, and the chair's so low in relationship to the bench, but it gets me the camera angle I want. Two of those were previous shots from a different gun that failed. Looks like we got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Looks like we got about 10 10s, 2 X's. That gun shoots good. That gun shoots within its acceptable performance range, being the type of gun it is. It's very acceptable in terms of it actually shooting. It did have malfunction, but it did have malfunction with the remanufactured ammunition, so you know you can't really go by that real hard and fast. And it states in all of the research I've done, which was about 20 minutes this morning, it shoots 124 much better than it shoots 115. That first magazine was in fact 124 grain loaded ammunition. I think it was PPU. This guy works good. It's very acceptable accuracy within, 30 foot, 10 yard self-defense range. Pretty happy with the little Nano in terms of how it seems to work and so forth. Yeah, Beretta Nano. I make a good little defensive gun. It meets the criteria that I always try and demonstrate with handguns out here is A, is it a good defensive gun? B, is it fun to shoot? C, it's a good little sporting gun for planking and so forth. Yeah, I think this would be an acceptable backup, off-duty, and personal self-defense gun. Let's see. The stated MSRP on the Beretta Nano is $553. You can generally pick up a new Nano somewhere in the neighborhood of $480 to $520. This one is a used gun. It's worth about $400. The Nano does not come with an extra magazine, or the time that I sold the Nano over at the store, it didn't come with an extra magazine. They may or may not. It just depends. And another thing about magazines, I always said, I think the distributors and the retailers steal the extra magazine out of some boxes, so they can try and sell the magazine separate and juice their profit margin. Well, having said all of that, Beretta Nano. Yep, pretty cool little gun, pretty cool little defensive gun. That's about the size of it for this installment of 8. I got this old used gun. Like, take, share, commentate, and subscribe. Leave me an old $1 in the Patreon bucket on the way out the door if you want to, and if you don't want to, I just keep right on making content for you. All right then, we'll see y'all.